when you talk to a theater artist who in the years to come will be a big name, I'm so glad to catch you at the perfect time. And welcome on behalf of the Citizen and all your followers and all our followers and people who love theater and film and performances and people who see art as a medium to do so much. So instead of having a format, I thought it'll be great to have a conversation, because that is what is lacking a lot these days. People are talking at each other, but not often to each other. And theater, in fact, was one of the earliest forms of conversation, proscenium or even open air. So what is your idea of theater, both as a performer, as a student?
For me, it was a very, it was a medium to express. It's not that I have like a very different childhood or a different upbringing or a very suppressed upbringing, but it's more of like an open conversation, how you and I are right now having this chat via Instagram or via modern technology, and people can hear us and see us. For me, theater means like to express myself where there's a lot of freedom and there's nobody to dictate me how to express physically and by just my body. You know what I mean? Like how I feel like, so I've done off-Broadway, I've done regional theater, touchwood, and I've done films. So as you know,
But you started with theater, right? You started with
New York, which is specifically for, I trained in the theater for 2 years, like Meisner, there's a technique called Meisner, Sandy Meisner. Yeah.
Exactly. I'd like to elaborate on that later.
Me, it was a very, very exotic thing because before I went, so it won't be a justice if I say I knew Meisner before I went to US. No, that's not correct. So what I did before, I studied all three books, Meisner, Lee Strasberg, and Stella Adler. And I felt more connected to Meisner, what he was saying through his book. And it was a very exotic experience when I went to their class and I saw it, and I was like, this is real. This is not like acting. Like, so for me, because it's a simple thing. Acting is very simple as far what I have learned. It's not a rocket science. It's like listening and responding. Right now you're listening to me and I'm listening to you, but you're not pretending to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? You are actually listening. And then you are reacting to what I'm saying. So that's what acting is. And then there's a different layers of things of like, it could be a circumstance. It's like you and I could be brother and sister. And I come home after 10 years and I find out that you were the one who has done something very irresponsible, which I was not expecting. So now this conversation is happening after 10 years, you and I, and now I am sitting in this train and I'm just like talking to you, and that's it. And taking you in, taking your like your body language, your reactions,
reactions.
This is very exotic. Yeah. You won't find that kind of a thing on, I'm not saying film. Oh, films are very great, but you won't find that kind of a thing in a flip of a second. And when you're on stage, when you are live on stage, when you're doing like Cherry Orchard, or you're doing Merchant of Venice, or you're doing, any big place, any Crucible, and then you see an actor alive who is actually living it 3 times a day and like 6 times a week. That's something which is like very exotic for me. So theater for me.
What you say exotic is also for the audience. It's very immersive to see you 10 feet away in a life-size situation rather than on silver screen, larger than life. I would find as a viewer, theater more immersive even for the viewer.
Because you live with the artist if you are a theater-going person, and if you have like, if you know what's happening in the play, or if it's so simple that you live with the artist. Because there's a thing among audience that everybody goes through slice of life. Like everybody is having their pain, and when the artist or an actor or a ballet dancer or anybody is expressing that on a stage, yeah, any performer is expressing that
Any
on a stage,
performer.
you feel connected to it somehow or the other. It could be just for a moment. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I felt connected to him for the entire 3 hours play. People are like that. But some people like, oh, for me, that scene was just outstanding, where he did or she did that. Oh, that was great. So for that moment, I feel it is a very, very connecting process.
Also more challenging, you know, you're live, there are no retakes in that sense. I mean, I've seen big stars, you know, you miss your cue, then they say, oh, from the top, let's start again. And then you're like in the audience, because that's, I think a big star can afford to do that.
It is,
but a rising star perhaps cannot.
It is very challenging.
So is that not more challenging?
I don't know. So 3 months rehearsal, usually before we put up a play, my producers, my directors give us 3 months rehearsals, and the rehearsals are like 8 hours. Yeah. 8
intensive
hours rehearsals, 6 hours rehearsals, and then the stages, and then you go in the reviews. Like you open for the very limited audience, and then you go in a full scale. So that's how the process is in Off-Broadway, Broadway in US. It is very challenging. It is very challenging because you have to do it. See, I cannot, if I'm taking $100 from you for a show, right? And if you're coming to my show, it's my responsibility every show, twice a day, could be a matinee show, could be an evening show, that I have to give, that you should believe what I'm saying. You should not just say, अरे यार वो हो गया, हाँ वो होता नहीं है पीठ थका, चलो क्या है ये सब, वो वाला नहीं, हाँ तो it won't be it, because that's what the whole theater is, and that's why it's still alive. See, agar people are not fool, you cannot. And
internationally, theater is actually more expensive, as even for the audience, more than cinema. So you do want your the buck value for your buck.
You cannot nowadays. Audience, I mean, they will and then of course, I mean, I don't want to say it, but like it's you. It's you. It's
no,
you
say it.
Who is acting up there, and if you're not able to do the job, just just give a chance to someone else. Why are you doing it if you really not want to do it? So it is very challenging.
So you think an actor's lifespan on theater is shorter? If you don't deliver, that's bye-bye?
Anyway, it's shorter. But what's happening right now post-COVID, and I'm going to give you both stories. Before COVID, it was not, because of the COVID, things have changed. Things have changed drastically. Yeah, even on...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Things have
in everything, every skill.
I cannot say that the lifespan or the career span could be shorter, shelf life of an actor. It all depends on his ability to do work and like what kind of a work he or she is putting. But I'll say that you cannot fool an audience. That's how easy it is. You could start somewhere here.
In fact, it's interesting you mentioned, exactly. You mentioned COVID, and that's, I think just pre-COVID is when you launched your company and you were doing varied things, also modeling, also probably writing your film, thinking about production. I don't know, crazy timing, huh? And then boom, COVID hit.
I'm very lucky that my business partner also and my team just was very like and also like
resilient.
They didn't like, of course everybody wants money. I do not want to say that, oh, they're doing for the love of arts. Of course they're doing it for the love of art, but everybody needs money.
Want and need money.
People working for NGOs, they need money because like it cannot even run. So it was a difficult time. We survived. It took us a good 2.5 or 3 years just to get out of COVID, because COVID happened in 2020. And I remember I was in Sundance in January of 2020. And the first case came just before the world
shut down.
January, and the first case came, was mentioned, and we were having this Sundance Film Festival, and everything was just like great. I was actually there to pitch a project to some producers, and then I came back to India on 9th of March. And 20th of March was lockdown.
Wow.
I was living in Bombay actually. So what
Yeah.
happened was that
Okay.
I relocated in November of 2019 to Bombay, and I got an apartment and everything in Bombay, and I was like, I'm here for 1 year, and I'm gonna have few projects. Yeah,
Because you were planning your
yeah.
film already and you wanted to be in
Yeah.
Mumbai
I
for
was like,
that project to
this
start.
was
This was for
this was
Kima
for another
Karonda
project which
or
was still we are waiting for it to go, because it's a web series sort of a thing. So I thought like I'll be in Bombay, and then
okay.
I'll do all the pre-production and all the stuff, because we were supposed to film in Bhopal and stuff like that. But then things just, here comes the twist.
And
So
here comes the twist.
March 20th was the lockdown, and then somehow everything was shutting down. And I'm from Lucknow, so I'm born and brought up in Lucknow. I flew to Lucknow somehow, and then nothing until October of 2020. Nothing until October of 2020. And my agent kept on calling me, come back to US, India is going in a lockdown. And touch wood, I was auditioning all this time via, yeah, because my agent
you
was
were?
sending me stuff
Okay.
from US though. Everything.
So that was already virtual.
Everything has to
You
be-
had to just dive into the deep.
Yes. Everything
Sink or
has to be
swim.
like self-tape.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then in October I went back again of 2020, and then when I got back in 2020, when I had COVID, and then for 1.5 years, nothing. So for that, web series is still on our roster.
And you
Right
were in
now-
America at this
Yes,
time,
yes.
waiting it
No,
out.
I was
No, then-
for 1 year I was
then-
stuck in Lucknow completely. When I got back, I was stuck in Lucknow.
Okay. It's
Well,
just
yeah, my
called
mom
being
said-
home, not
yes,
stuck in Lucknow,
I was
right?
in Lucknow,
Just called being
and,
home.
everybody loved it. But I think it was good because my whole family have had COVID. And in the second, in 2021, the second wave was
Oh.
horrific. It was horrific. Like people were like dying.
Horrific. Yeah.
I lost 8 members of my family, like not like immediate family, but still
Yeah.
like my first cousins and all that. But it was horrific. Anyway. Yeah.
And many more who you
It was-
knew or even
it
didn't
was-
know,
it
you
was
know.
very,
This-
very
that
bad
was
time,
quite a
and I was in Lucknow at
scary
that
time.
But so again, like in 2022, I went back again. But that web series hopefully come to alive sometime in October of this year, because no, we wrote it.
Are you writing
we
it
wrote
as well?
I just have the concept. So I have the concept, and then there was a writer who wrote it.
Okay. Which is the story. You had the
Yes,
soul, the
yes,
story
yes,
of it, and
yes,
someone
yes.
wrote the screenplay.
And then
Okay.
last year, while we were in Lucknow, we filmed Karonda Keema. In 2022, I specifically came for Karonda Keema to Lucknow because it's a Lucknow story, and with all the historical monuments of Lucknow and beautiful Lucknow. Yeah.
You want to share a bit of what it's about? It's a fantastic trailer, but what are
It's
we
in the
looking
film
for, and
festivals
when are
right
we
now.
going to see
We
it?
got accepted for a few festivals. I'm going to actually share that hopefully on the 10th of April. And but right now what the story is,
Oh, okay.
it's about 3 friends. It's coming of age film. We lost a friend in COVID.
Yeah.
And actually the story revolves around him.
Mhm.
That when I went to US, they had a,
Right.
it's not like my story, but it's more or less loosely based on like people I know. So,
But
yeah,
art
it's all-
always reflects reality,
yes.
either yours or
And,
somebody
they
else's, you
used
know.
to be childhood friends, like जैसे आप कह सकते हैं कि it was like best friends कह सकते हैं, या लखनऊ की भाषा में लंगोटिया यार. And
Langotia
when
yaar.
I got back to Lucknow, there were 3 friends, only 2 left. And then they were just talking about memories.
Correct.
And then there was a specific dish that they'll used to
Right.
love and eat a lot, like a keema. और वो
Keema
actually
karonda.
लखनऊ में कभी मिलता था आज से 60, 70, 80 साल पहले. Like जब आजादी के टाइम पे भी आप ये कह लो कि लखनऊ जब मतलब अवध का.
For
Yeah.
non-Lucknower, it's
Yeah.
it's an unusual thing. We know what a karonda is, and you know this
जी,
that fake
जी,
cherry
जी,
बनता है
जी,
उससे
उसमें एक
और
जगह-
चटनी बनता है, and
जी.
keema separate. So that
So
itself,
वो लखनऊ की कभी
yeah,
1920s या 30s में डिश हुआ करती थी जब आवर टाइम, हाँ आवर टाइम का एक उस पे वो लगा था,
heritage dish.
आई थिंक बिफोर
हाँ.
इंडिपेंडेंस। उसके बाद भी रहा होगा, कुछ घरों में बनता था, मेरे क्या पहले बनता था, मेरी दरियाल में बनता था बहुत। वो उस पे इस पूरी स्टोरी है कि हाउ वी वेंट टुवर्ड्स एक्चुअली बैकवर्ड्स फ्रॉम आवर अडल्ट लाइफ टू आवर चाइल्डहुड, एंड वो पूरी स्टोरी वैसे गई है कि हाउ वी I went looking, yes.
And you went
Yes.
looking for
It's,
literally that
it's
dish, which means your past
remembrance of,
life. Yeah. In fact, in the trailer, I noticed the friend who's missing is not missing. There's a
yes.
friend-shaped presence, a vacant
Because
presence, if that's possible. Was that difficult to, you know, put forth?
it was basically because, see, it was not difficult in terms of finding something that you have lost it, because I was playing something out of my own life, but like the most difficult part was to be in it while producing it in Lucknow, because I have
Why?
we
What
have
was the
permits, we
challenge?
have everything, but then I have to like sometime wear a different hat of a producer and just have to go and just, my team was excellent. My team was excellent team. But then some of the,
Which is more challenging, be honest, production or
production.
being the lead in the film?
No, I think,
For us,
I think production.
non-film walas,
No, I
we
think
think production is the safety with the money,
If
and
you're
the actor is
producing
the
an actor, I
glam
think
factor.
production is most challenging. It's because you have to make sure that
Most
everybody
challenging.
is at ease, and I don't want to make sure nobody is happy on the team. And then the pull, जब लखनऊ में shoot कर रहे थे, people were literally like in front of the camera always, and we had like a schedule.
Because of
We had like
the
10 days
density,
shoot,
it's
and
so
then
many
people were
people.
like literally. But anyway, we did it. It was fun.
But did you incorporate them in your shots? There are a couple of, I can see some. I can see some in the trailer.
We were planning to do it just in Ramzan last year, May of 2022. It was not possible.
Okay.
We went for the permits, and the police
Okay.
of Lucknow like आप कर ही नहीं सकते हैं, possible है ही नहीं आप लोग. So we did it post. No.
The permits themselves were not possible.
It's a very tough thing to do.
Okay.
आप ऐसे बना लीजिए, but to do a film in Lucknow during the Ramadan, it won't be possible, because it was all old Lucknow shoot, सारे monuments, सारे historical place. Yes,
Which would
yeah.
be
So
the most
like
populous
it's
during
not
Ramzan.
possible at all.
Yeah.
Possible, they said कि like so we did it post Eid. So we did it in June, first week of 2022, and तब भी बहुत.
Okay.
Yes.
Once
we
the
did some
crowds had eased.
B shots of Ramadan before. फिर रमजान के B shots ले लिए थे हमने, कि जो audience के या थोड़ा सा crowd का दिखाना था, market दिखानी थी वो. So it was a process of Ramzan में B shots ले लिए थे, and then we did the whole film in June of 2020, first week.
So that's the complication of being the producer as well, that you really have to think ahead.
You cannot just be very spontaneous. As an actor, spontaneously work so much, but as a producer, you cannot. You have to. No. You
can't improvise as a, yeah. So all the discipline, the scheduling has to be in the production hat
EP was very
when you
good.
don that hat.
Line producer was very good. 3 or 4 of our ADs were very good. They were, and I'm going to say something. Most of my 70 to 80% of my crew was from Lucknow. I just brought some people from Bombay,
Okay.
2 actors, 1 actor from Bombay. Rest of the crowd is actually from Delhi, आपके यहाँ से, and जो Delhi का था, they all filmed Netflix, so they were like so seasoned. They were like chop, chalo. So it was like
tight
it was
schedules.
like
they work
were
on very tight
took
schedules.
A lot of burden out of my, but still I cannot just like, but it was so good. It was because I was like into the whole scene, because you filmed.
That you again describe the fundamental difference between cinema and theatre as well. You know, your team, the fundamental difference also, one of the differences between cinema and theater as well, is cinema probably
Yes,
has a larger team, a
yes,
larger backup, a larger support
yes,
system,
yes,
at
absolutely.
least technically as
There
well,
are
right?
many. It's on you.
And theater,
Nobody will
when
come and
performing, it's
even the
on you.
director won't come and do it again, because it's all you,
Yeah,
and it's all you living the life.
yeah,
It's just जैसे
yeah,
वो राजकुमार साहब के लिए कहते हैं वन
yeah,
मैन शो के वो हैं तो बस वही है और वही चल रहा है, बस वो वही है,
yeah.
बस वही चीज होती है. And that's what I love, because that's where I start, and hopefully I want to do an off-Broadway play in Lucknow. I don't know, we have, yeah,
Oh, wow.
that would be
That'll
my
be
first off-Broadway
first, no?
in here. But like, I don't think off-Broadway kalaayega, because it's out of New York. But anyway, we actually, yeah,
Oh, it's a far off Broadway. You can rebrand it.
we have
आजकल
rights of
branding
few
का जमाना है.
plays. We are working, but it's little dicey. मैं बहुत करना चाहता हूँ. It's little dicey between doing an English or Hindi play. So ये थोड़ा सा, that's what the diciness is coming, because we have a team, we have few rights of the plays as well in our production house, and we already did that in US. Not my play. My production house has nothing to do, but we are thinking of like getting the rights of those play. We already have,
Bringing
yes.
a well-known play or something. Do you know which ones you want to bring in already? Do you have a selection?
Bring Disgraced. Ayan Akhtar ka tha, who won a Tony Awards, and the other one is from my friend. It's called Brilliant Traces ka adaptation hai. Brilliant Traces एक play. It's about a psycho killer who is basically sitting in a room with a woman chained up, and they are having a conversation about कि कोई तीसरा बंदा आके उनको मारने वाला है, जबकि जो बंदा है, he is the killer. So it's a very different play. It's a short play. It could be only for an hour, but it's a short, crispy play, full of entertainment. And it's just like very precise, chop. कि मतलब आदमी बोर ना हो.
Do you think it's a good time for plays to also be revived, because a lot of theatre groups, which you mentioned, COVID, had suffered, and slowly they've, even in India, in Delhi, in Bombay, they've started performing again. They've started traveling with their troops.
I feel that's what
I'm
still judging.
Time is right.
Time is always right. The difference is the audience. I have been to, so I'm going to Bombay this coming weekend, and I have a friend who's I'll be in Prithvi, because that's why I go and watch a lot of plays, right? But I don't know why the play in India don't charge so much. It's not that उनको बहुत expensive कर देना चाहिए, but still there has to be yes,
at par with films at least,
a medium where plays should be given a platform to actually bring the audience in, because I feel के time, I don't know कि यही चीज के what audience like English or Hindi. In Bombay they're both English and Hindi, but in Lucknow, as I want to do in Lucknow, that's what we are right now deciding factor is कि English में करें या Hindi में करें. अब it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Not even Hindi, in Lucknowi.
In Karonda Keema, we use Lucknow की पूरी हिंदी, उर्दू हिंदी. जैसे कि Karonda Keema में ऐसे उर्दू के ऐसे लफ्ज हैं जो कुछ लोगों ने नहीं सुने होंगे, and then we gave it नीचे के बॉस इसका ये मतलब है, because so that people can understand conversation. So that's what we are little experimental. Okay, should we bring in Lucknow and have it in Hindi?
So this is still, I can sense the producer in you talking right now. This is a thought process of a producer, not so much as an artist. Artist would say, chalo, kal karte. Let's do it tomorrow.
Production house which now have like 3 people on as a permanent basis. So I also want to see my investors get their money back, because that's what the thing is. As an actor, I've experimented a lot, but if I cannot, because
as a producer you can't afford to.
अगर मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ, तो it has to be feasible for my investors. So
But why do it then? Why not be an actor? You're successful as a model, even as an actor. You're lucky enough to do both theater and films.
Let me
Why do
tell
you
you,
want to rock the
it
boat so
didn't
much?
happen so easily. वो अब लग रहा है because early on when I started doing, I didn't got all these roles because they kept on telling me that I look different, I sound different, I have a different voice. So I started producing independently with my friends. तब तक कि मेरा production है. Yeah,
But you are
that's what it is.
different.
But I was
That's
not getting
stating
all
the
these
obvious.
juicy roles. See, being a different is a very beautiful thing. Being a different, yeah. Being a different is a
Especially
very
for a
beautiful thing.
performing art.
But if you label me a five-liners for rest of my life,
Mm.
which Hollywood has a habit of doing that, before in 2013, 14, 15, now with the diversity thing they're playing, I get it. I love that part. But if you call me a diverse actor and if you give me five lines as a terrorist or as a Bugara, jo ki, wo karta, that's not fair. Yeah. That's
Refugee,
not
terrorist,
cab driver.
cook. What
That's
else
not,
are you?
yeah. That or Delhi guy, jo
Cab driver,
karta
of
hai
course.
New York. That's not fair. See, yeah, that's not fair.
But it's the
Where are the meaty roles? You give me a carpenter, I'll do a carpenter. उसमें बहुत अच्छी बात है. You give me a juicy role. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम कर नहीं सकते. या ऐसा नहीं है कि it's not my thing. So that's what the.
But which brings me to a non-diplomatic question. It's also, do you think Indian actors by which who are working abroad, do you think they settle for less?
That
कुछ तो
is
मिल
the
रहा
one.
है, कर लो.
If they do, I don't. I now don't. I have had a chance where I was told.
No, your
I feel
contemporaries, your
yes.
friends, because they do take up multiple these walk-in, walk-out roles. You see, speck of brown, so to say, you know, representative
I think
Asian,
you are
representative
correct. And
Pakistani.
आप जो बोल रही हैं, it 100% उसमें दोनों तरफ से ये है कि लोग इसलिए भी लेते हैं कि कुछ नहीं से कुछ अच्छा है कि at least I will be able to show my face. मैं अपना टैलेंट दिखा सकता हूँ या दिखा सकती हूँ, उससे मिलेगा. बट लेकिन अगेन आई फील कि इधर 3 साल में बहुत चेंज हुआ है. आई फील अब पता नहीं इतना ये जो रोल्स इन जो डाइवर्सिटी मैं बीबीसी में देखता हूँ. इफ यू वॉच अ BBC 1, BBC 2, नेटफ्लिक्स पे अगर आप बीबीसी के शो देखें, द डाइवर्सिटी इन बीबीसी इट्स वे डिफरेंट देन इन हॉलीवुड as predominantly on.
Yeah, it has people of color playing royalty.
Yeah. So
that's a big
Hollywood
statement.
has given के बस 3-4 लाइनें. So coming back to you, that's why I produced. I said अगर आप नहीं मेरे को दे रहे हो, that doesn't mean कि मैं कर नहीं सकता हूँ. I'll create. And nowadays
I'll create the venue.
I have a YouTube. मैंने
that's the Lucknow boy in you.
Thank you. But it was very frustrating, you know. Abhi to I understand it was, and I understand कि कोई अगर I didn't sound like this, and I get it. I was not. I worked on this because मैं जब वहाँ गया था, I had a very
this confidence,
thick accent,
you mean?
The looks and all that, and this and that. So I did went to.
You went to acting
that's
school. You
like,
did it. You learned
It
professionally.
didn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? It took me time. It took me time. It
requires work.
Of practice. It took me a lot of auditions. But then also, if you just give me 4-liners or 5-liners, or if you give me a role which I feel in my prime youth, if I'm doing this kind of a role, or if you are offering me these kind of roles, then when I reach in my 50s or 60s, then you will be like, अब आप retire हो जाओ, घर पे बैठो. ऐसा नहीं होता. You cannot just. So that's why I started producing, and that's how the production house happened. But now I wanna. मैं जिन फिल्मों को देख के बड़ा हुआ हूँ, वो बच्चन साहब की हैं, दिलीप साहब की हैं. My favorite actor is actually Ajay Devgan and Shah Rukh Khan. Both. Let me tell you why. No.
What a diverse selection.
For his acting. I love him for his acting. Because see his body of work. आप commercials, non-commercial films देखें. चाहे वो company हो, चाहे वो अपना गोलमाल हो. लेकिन गंगा जल हो, चाहे वो आप पहले की films देख लो. this is
Yeah,
what
there
it
is
is. And Shah Rukh Khan,
a
of
big
course,
range.
who doesn't love Shah Rukh Khan? Like Shah Rukh Khan has been a
Hmm.
fan. I've been a fanboy, but I've grown.
I think only Shah Rukh Khan is very critical of Shah Rukh Khan. Everybody else loves
I've grown up
him
seeing it,
unanimously.
so it won't be. I
Hmm.
didn't know Marlon
Hmm.
Brando or James Dean until unless I was in my teens. जब मैं US गया हूँ, then I was, yeah.
Yeah, this was a
This
world
was
cinema.
because मेरे घर
Bollywood was
पे
a
मेरे घर
cinema.
पे स्टार मूवीज जो आता था उसमें I अगर आता भी था होगा, अभी मैंने ब्रांडो की फिल्म भी देखी होगी, I'll be honest to say अब कि मुझे पता नहीं था ये ब्रांडो है. जब मैं गया और जब मैंने पढ़ा तो मुझे पता चला, अरे यार ये
हाँ.
तो मार्लन ब्रांडो है. मतलब फिर वो तो मेरे लिए तो अमिताभ बच्चन और शाहरुख खान और अजय देवगन और दिलीप साहब ही वो हैं. तो इसलिए मैं यहाँ जो फिल्म बनाना चाहता हूँ, I want to make
Hmm.
more films which I can act, but towards the society. That's what my whole thing is. कि
Hmm.
yeah,
Which means socially conscious cinema. But you know, there's a danger fraught with that, right? So it is fraught with danger because films are also a political medium, you know, a political message or a political reaction.
This is something. There's a fine line. There is a different kind of
That's
challenge.
a different kind of challenge.
I'm not gonna take a name. I was about to take a role for a LGBTQ film, जो कि यहीं पे थी, transgender actually. But then my friend who is a filmmaker from Germany, he's an Indian. He went to, but anyway, he proposed me this original story from Hyderabad about this guy. And then he said, would you be able to do this role? I'm like, yeah, sure. But then we were in Bombay. We were like, Bombay mein shoot karte hain puri. And then he said to me, ke mat kar, because they will be after your life.
Why?
And I get it. They said ke transgender role karega. So usme not because
of typecasting.
Exactly.
But because of the political messaging.
Mat kar. So he said ke just forget about it, because to him mat kar kisi aur ne bola. You know what I mean? Like he was doing the research and everywhere he was going, he said ke yaar rehne hi do. So इतने लोगों ने उसको रहने ही दो बोला कि he just finally हमने कहा नहीं करते हैं ना, हमने कहा यहाँ करते हैं, या हमने कहा यहाँ करते हैं.
He internalized
film festivals. He said के नहीं छोड़ मत करते हैं. So he backed out, and then later on I said कि ठीक है. But anyway, so that is a challenge. No.
But did that film ever get made?
No.
That role?
We
No, it didn't.
Not thinking even to go that path, but I am actually doing an LGBTQ film during Trump's America in US, which is also in Donald Trump's America.
Trump's America.
About an Indian gay couple. I don't want to give. Yeah, don't want to give it all that. Lekin it's actually a real loosely based real story. So that's we're filming in New York, hopefully by this August. Hopefully.
So do you give yourself deadlines for these fantastic ideas and stories? That
not give deadlines. We just, once the idea comes, the first thing we see is how good is the screenplay or scripts kya hai. Agar scripts is doable and the scripts are good and it's not cheesy hai, then it's good. That's where the whole interest comes. And nowadays there's a lot of platforms. There's a lot of platforms.
Absolutely. I was coming to that. I said it's beyond OTT now. You're watching films on your phone, on your Apple Watch. So what is your where do you see this going? Because you've done theater, you've done all these mediums which are very different from each other. And even as you speak, new mediums keep evolving. There's AI now. So, you know, I would see a bigger, sometimes threat or a bigger challenge. You could have a co-actor who's AI.
My agent was actually talking about last Christmas party. We were just joking about. But
I am your secret agent. Don't tell them.
Actually, see, technology is evolving and you cannot just disregard it anyhow. अगर कुछ आसानियां हैं तो कुछ मुश्किलें भी आएंगी.
Yeah.
And I feel कि as the new platforms evolve, there's a lot of chance for the young talent, or young talent doesn't mean people in their early teens. Of course, those in 20s. Young talent being people who are acting, who are starting acting even in their 60s. Yeah. To show their
young in the field. Yeah.
To show their
not
show
age,
their work.
but yeah.
Abhi YouTube is playing bigger roles. Instagram
Absolutely.
is playing such a bigger role. People are making like good living of just YouTube and Instagram. Just like with this,
absolutely, more than good living. Yeah. Now this concept
even
of vloggers and stand-up comics and
too.
everything is
too. Like even actors too.
Short
even
films.
actors too. Like actors have this thing of like ye kaise hoga, but now it's a different platform. Like I know a friend jiska he did a web series on YouTube, right? And it got picked up. And it was such a good thing. It was picked up by a channel hai Viacom 18 ka, jo ki sister channel hai. They picked it up and they were like, we were 15 minutes ka content tha. It got picked up and he's making money, both of them. So anyway, I love ke itna options hai. If you ask me honestly, I love itne options because it makes my mom and dad very easy. Because जब मैं ये शुरू कर रहा था,
finally
they feel relieved.
They feel relieved.
जब मैं ये शुरू कर रहा था, my father retired. He's a dean of zoology. He retired as a vice principal of a degree college in Lucknow. So my mom and dad were very worried because मैं MBA करने गया था and I changed my MBA to acting because मैं शुरुआत में इनसे कह नहीं पाता था कि I want to be an actor. लेकिन जब मैं वहाँ गया and I went on a student loan, जो कि कोई scholarship नहीं थी, तो I just thought कि यार मैं करूँ अगर MBA और उसके बाद ये ना हो कि मैं 40 साल इसका हो जाऊँ, फिर मैं सोचूं कि ये क्यों करा, मैंने ये क्यों करा, या फिर तो that's why I took and then I made a call.
Or that you killed your passion yourself.
6 months of MBA, I started doing mass communication with theatre emphasize. That has changed and that has brought me to the reality of this conversation with my father and mom. मैंने तुम्हें पढ़ा दे. I think they
How did you convince them?
Liberal. Because they have seen it. लेकिन उनका एक चीज कहना था जो कि I think किसी भी माँ बाप का कहना होगा, यार उन्होंने ये कहा था कि तुम बड़े हो, जो कर रहे हो सोच समझ के कर रहे हो, लेकिन ये सोचना कि हम लोग जिंदगी भर नहीं रहेंगे. तो एक जब बच्चे हो जाएंगे तो एक वो होता है कि आगे क्या करोगे, लाइक एक क्या होगा, लाइक कैसे, because in 2008-9 when I went for my US, itna OTT was not and they were like and I
not
get it.
happening so much.
मुझे convince करने के लिए उनको यही था कि I did the mass comm, मैं पहले इसकी job करूंगा, which I did a radio jockey job and साथ में वो करूंगा and मैं ये कभी नहीं करूंगा कि मैं आप लोगों को मतलब परेशान करूं. तो they were like as
Turn or embarrassed.
It falls like they were worried कि शादी कैसे होगी अगर मैं और डेप्थ में जाऊं.
Even for
of course,
men, that's cool. So the fragility of Izzat and getting married, etc., mostly still rests on women actors and women performers.
They were like कि लड़की कोई नहीं देगा, क्या शादी करोगे? He's just an actor.
Because you're just an actor.
No. It's
everything is a story like, for a potential film.
People ask कि आपका लड़का क्या करता है, and they say like actor है. नहीं, वो तो शौक में करता है क्या है? That has happened. असली
काम क्या करता है? That's a hobby. Acting is a hobby, and what is his job?
वो उसी से कमाता है. So they didn't really, but then they saw my work and they're like, okay, ठीक है. This is a friend of my father's. But I for me actually अगर आप मुझसे पूछें तो मैंने जो डिसीजन लिया था वो मैंने बिल्कुल किसी के विदाउट वो and I think I took the best decision of my life because I'm happy now. I'm happy and I no regrets at
No
all.
regrets.
किसी चीज का भी नहीं. I am so much happy. I am producing because I want to act. It's not the other way that I want to act because I want to produce. It's I want to act and that's why I'm producing. अगर आपने वो एक चैलेंज था जैसे आप कह रही हैं
Correct.
हमेशा से और ये चैलेंजेस हो सकता है आज से 5 साल बाद कुछ नया चैलेंज आ जाए लेकिन फिर उसका सोल्यूशन भी आप ही को ढूंढना होगा क्योंकि अगर आपको कोई चीज चाहिए है it's how simple it is.
So you'll cross the bridge when you come, when you reach it.
It is.
But why does it in this conversation sound like theater has taken a real backseat? Backseat ka bhi backseat. Where has your theater life gone?
That's what I'm saying. The theater has taken right now because of 2018-19 there were 2 films and 2020 में COVID के बाद it hasn't. I'm doing it off Broadway right now. And उसी की तैयारी के लिए I'm leaving on the 20th April to New York and that's what the whole scene is because I haven't done anything in 3 years. 2019 में we did reality TV. Hopefully
so it will be like a debut all over again.
So
3 years sabbatical.
इतना 3 साल का वो हो गया and I'm leaving and I'll be gone for like 7-8 months. So ये करने के बाद फिल्म है so then I'll be back around November तक दिवाली के आसपास. So this is what it is. Theater hasn't taken and that's what I am thinking जो मैं करूँगा I'm thinking to bring it to Lucknow right now because theater is something that gives us a lot of confidence. Let me tell you that. If anybody is listening among your audience, I would love to say कि अगर आप theater करते हैं तो आपका confidence 10 लाख दफा बढ़ेगा. मेरी बात मानिए, आप कभी करके देखिए. अगर आपने कभी ना भी करा हो तो ये एक कहावत है कि घर वालों के सामने शुरुआत में दूसरों की नकल करो या एक्सेंट करने की कोशिश करो. उससे बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस आता है.
Miming,
लेकिन मैं ये
mimicry
थिएटर करने से जो
so that's the confidence of a performer. But in theater, a lot of theater actors are doing theater to become film actors. That is the harsh truth. A lot of them.
Because there is no money. Let me tell you why. There's no money. There's not much of. So I'll be very direct because if I'm not direct, then what's the use of this conversation? There's no money and there's a less fame, I guess, in theater. In India, let me tell you that. As far as I know, US में it's like the Tonys जो होते हैं. Again, if you're a Tony Award winner, yeah, if you're on Broadway, that means you are an actor. Like you are a performer, जो कि मतलब yes, जो कि कभी अगर जाएं and if you see and you will be like, wow, this is something different. यही मैं आपसे कह रहा था कि I see के why people are moving from theater to on a film, TV or.
No, they're not moving now. They haven't stopped moving. It's an ongoing process. It's not like someone has evolved theater to a stage where that becomes your first choice
Theater
as an artist,
also gives you,
and you stay.
You learn a lot from theater, and once you learned, you moved. But that's what I'm saying. Don't move. You have to, because in acting, you cannot just think. Here's a good example. I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question in a different way. For an IT guy who do an IT services, जो हमारी घड़ी है, phone है, ये है, वो है, जितनी भी हम apps use करते हैं, they take an online classes every now and then. Okay. They go for a training. And they get better with it, right? That's exactly how it happened in acting. मैंने acting school pass out करा था 2014 में. उसके बाद मैंने सिर्फ stage करा है. आज भी I go and I take online classes.
It's almost your 10th year.
I do it.
Happy anniversary.
Because क्यों? You need to sharpen your tools. मेरे एक mentor कहते हैं, you
like a refresher course
need
and
to,
like.
so theater is the best. अगर आपके पास एक्टिंग टीचर नहीं है, अगर आपके पास पैसे नहीं हैं, अगर आपके पास कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जिससे आप सीख सकते हैं, तो आप अपने दोस्तों को लेके एक छोटी सी कहानी पे गांव में, छोटे शहर में थिएटर कर सकते हैं. कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ. कोई सिंपल है. जैसे मैं अभी आपसे बात, but you have to do.
But you have to do it. It has to be done.
इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि people who leave and become an actor, that's good, but you have to go back to theater. मैंने writers को देखा है कि there's a different thing and this is a different medium. बहुत.
Would you take it upon yourself to be one of those who brings people back to theater?
I know a group of my friends who are well-established actors in US, and they've been working in like 4 different countries, US, UK, and they are French, but they are actually in US, and they're France, England, and US, but they go back to theater because we are a group, and they always. So I have a group of friends who every 15 days we meet online and we discuss new scripts. जैसे अभी आप writer हैं, मैं actor हूँ, ये वो, we read, table reads. What is that table read? That is basically new ideas and all that. But that's what I'm saying, कि theater is something कि जो आपको without पैसा, without वो, because लोगों में they don't have tools, they don't have resources. Do theater.
So give us some hope. 5 tips for someone who loves theater but
the best thing
needs to learn how to survive.
No.
3 भी दे सकते.
Absolutely. The best thing about
if they aren't 5,
you can control it. आपको किसी की जरूरत नहीं है सिवाय एक 5 लोगों के जो आपके साथ act कर सके. Second best thing is theater is you can preserve. आप जितना करेंगे आप उतना वो होंगे. और अच्छी चीज आप जो कि like difference होता है कि आदमी थिएटर छोड़ के फिल्म्स में चला जाता है या वेब सीरीज चला जाता है या वो चला.
How to survive, how to make money.
आप एक सिटी पकड़ लो, जैसे कि अब लखनऊ में, अगर मैं लखनऊ में हूँ एंड लखनऊ में कम से कम एक 50 लाख के, आप लखनऊ में हर तीसरे दूसरे महीने शोज करो, आप अपनी सिटीज में करो शोज. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है कि आप अपना थिएटर ग्रुप करो और उसको लोग 100 रुपए देने ना आए. आपके फ्रेंड्स हैं, आपके घर वाले हैं, आपके मम्मी पापा हैं, आपके भाई बहन हैं, आप उनसे कहो, वो ऑफिसेज में जाते हैं. टेक इट टू द
people. Don't wait for the people to come to you.
शुरुआत में ये करा था, मैं अभी भी करता हूँ, उसमें मुझे कोई शर्म नहीं है करने में, क्योंकि अगर मैं अपने काम को नहीं बताऊंगा तो मेरे काम को कौन बताएगा. अगर मैं अपनी माँ को नहीं बताऊंगा मैं ये कर रहा हूँ ताकि वो अपनी दोस्त को बताए, तो उनको कैसे पता चलेगा? हाउ वुड यू नो? तो आपको कोई शर्म नहीं आनी चाहिए बॉस, ये आपका काम. अगर आपको ये सीरियसली करना है, पहली चीज तो ये कि अगर आपको शर्म भी आ रही है और फिर आप थोड़ा सा उसमें
and if you're feeling sharam, then you question yourself if this is your calling.
कोई शर्म वाली चीज नहीं है. अगर आप किसी से कह रहे हो बॉस मेरे
then sharam here is not shame, it is hesitation. It is a lack of self-belief or confidence.
10 से 15,000 20,000 रुपए बना सकते हैं पर शो. मतलब अगर आपके शो का 10-15 दिन का रन है, आप बना सकते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया में लोग 100 रुपए 150 रुपए नहीं देंगे आपको.
Great.
इंडिया में 100-150.
And what are the 2-3 things not to do? This is a good tip, but since you've learned from your own errors, I'm sure like all of us need to learn. What are the 3 things you should not do? Yeah, sure.
Please
as an actor and as a theater person.
Please
it's still a fine line. You're both.
I'll say that. Learn your lines. अगर आप किसी भी थिएटर या कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, please learn your lines. Do your homework. पहली चीज मैं ये कहूँगा. Do your homework.
So even if it's a theater performance on the street, you're performing for the academy.
You should be
for
very open कि आपको कोई देख रहा है. अगर आपको कोई देख रहा है, that means आप उसको entertain कर रहे हो. But आप ये सोचो कि अगर आपको कोई देख रहा है, आप उसको entertain कर रहे हो, तो कैसे ऐसा हो सकता है कि आप आपसे उसकी नजरें ना हटें. You should be that good enough.
So the first mistake not to do is don't be unprepared.
You should do your homework. Second is always be like collaborations. करने के लिए हमेशा, oh, this is not okay.
So we're saying what not to do. So second then would be don't have this big ego.
Collaborations.
Collaborate.
जहाँ पे भी करना चाहो, it's the best. But do not have this ego कि मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, मैं वो नहीं कर सकता. और ये this is beyond me. This is not good. This is not वो. And third, don't lie. झूठ मत बोले, please. Because आप अपने
That's a life mantra. It could be a life mantra.
झूठ ना बोले. अगर आप शुरुआत से शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो please आप बोल दें कि बॉस मैं अभी ऐसा है, मैं खुद से अपने ग्रुप को लेके आया हूँ और मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, मैं दिल से करना चाहता हूँ, मैं झूठ नहीं बोल रहा. आप मुझे मौका देंगे तो मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छा है. अगर आप कहेंगे तो मैं एक झूठ ना बोले, वो आपको बहुत ऊपर तक लेके जाएगा. क्योंकि बहुत छोटी इंडस्ट्री है, पकड़ लिया जाता है आदमी. ये कहने की बात है बहुत बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है, ऐसा नहीं है. बहुत छोटी इंडस्ट्री है, लोग आपस में एक दूसरे से बात करते हैं. कोई बेवकूफ नहीं है. आपको क्या लगता है? कोई बेवकूफ नहीं है. आपस में लोग एक दूसरे से
you will be called out. Don't bluff.
That will close more doors for you. That will close more because because आप किसी का टाइम बर्बाद कर रहे हैं. अगर मैं आपका आज मैं टाइम देके ना आता तो आप कहती क्या भैया आदमी है यार, मेरा टाइम बर्बाद कर रहा है. I would have just called someone else. Yeah.
So honor your commitment.
Please.
That's another. That's a fourth one.
Discipline बहुत जरूरी है. Discipline is the most important thing in acting, in any art form. That's what I feel. People disagree कि they give themselves कि I'm an artist, मैं अपने आप को time नहीं दूंगा, I'll paint this, might take me 3 years. For me that doesn't work. It could be just it has
the
to
deadlines
be.
and delivering.
Stress,
Yeah.
You are having a hypertension and आपका blood pressure बढ़ रहा है. No, don't do that. But
you have to deliver. You cannot. It can't be in your head all the time.
What's a good use of something that's in your head जबकि वो आपके दिमागी में and you cannot deliver? It's good for nothing. So please be.
And as a good Lucknow boy, have you finally made your parents happy and proud?
Because मैंने ये कहा था कि मैं आप लोगों से कभी पैसे नहीं मांगूंगा जब मैं ग्रेजुएट होऊंगा. और उसके बाद मैंने नहीं मांगे. मैंने आज 10-11 साल हो गए टचवुड, मैंने नहीं मांगे. और मुझे कहने में कोई शर्म नहीं है. बिकॉज अगर ये गलत मैसेज आता है, मेरे कुछ दोस्त हैं, I just want to end on this. There are few people who say I'm an artist, give me anything you want. Please do not say that. Please do not say that. Because अगर आप ये कहने लगेंगे I'm an artist, give me whatever you want, जो आपको सही लगे दे दे. Please do not. ये दो बात मेरी contradict. ईगो अलग चीज है कि आप कोलैब करिए, हाँ वो ये, लेकिन ये
little bit, yeah. But
ये
know your worth. You have to know your worth.
आपको लगेगा, लेकिन it's a different thing. It's a completely different thing. जब आप if you know कि ये आपको मतलब just be very पैसे के मामले में या आर्टिस्ट के मामले में there's a different thing. You cannot survive if you are in a place where you're coming from and your ideas are on 10 different level, and then you want to be an actor and then you want to make money out of it. It's not like that. But you should know your worth. You should not be cocky. You should not be arrogant. And I feel the biggest challenge as a theatre artist in India is basically you have to start somewhere. You have to start. Just begin. You cannot just let you cannot just let things come. Somebody will discover it.
No, fantastic. Yeah, that's a really important point to drive home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing that for us. Yeah, and we look forward to a hot bowl of Keema Karonda soon in theaters near us or on OTT.
Actually, after festival circuit, we'll announce it, and then we are actually hopefully trying to get it on Disney. Let's see.
Oh, that's fantastic. But like a good Desi boy, you have to bring it home first.
Yes.
We have first serving rights.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to it. Thank you for speaking to us. Yeah, absolutely.
So to you.
More power to you.